Are you ready to level up? Do you wish to live a life of options and not obligations? You've come to the right place. Thank you for stopping on by to hear knowledge nuggets from Coach Fergie and his top-tier guest to help you lean into your ultimate human potential. Now, let's level up with Coach Fergie.
Hey, Varsity Squad, welcome back to another powerful edition of Level Up Conversations with Coach Fergie with Time to Shine Today Coaching. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, blessed to be your GAP coach, specializing in performance mental conditioning, working with business leaders, entrepreneurs, entertainers, athletes, C-suite, and students to help them bridge their success gap to live a life of options and not obligations. On this platform, we are striving to bring you high performers who are not just chasing and attaining success, but redefining it through providing above and beyond service. And a real quick coaching knowledge nugget this week, squad. So many people are out there chasing the dollar, chasing money. They're chasing the next raise, the next client, the next commission, the next big break. But I think they're chasing the wrong thing sometimes. Stop chasing money, chase being useful. A marketplace doesn't reward need, it rewards value. The more problems you can solve, the more valuable you become. And when you become valuable, the money has a funny way of finding you. I was talking to one of my coaching clients this week, a Fortune 100 CEO. You'd think someone at that level would be focused on titles or status, but he's not. We spent the entire session talking about one thing. How do I better serve my team? How do I remove obstacles? How do I make the people around me more successful? That's leadership. That's usefulness. And here's the cool part. It doesn't matter if you're running a Fortune 100 company, selling real estate, coaching athletes, fixing boats, or just starting your first job. The principle never changes. Show up early, keep your word, solve problems, make people's lives better, become the person everyone knows they can count on. Because when you're indispensable, you're never begging for opportunities. They start looking for you. Today, we're talking about something I think our younger listeners and honestly their parents need to hear. For years, we've been told success has one road: graduate high school, go to college, rack up debt, then hope someone gives you a job. But what if there's another path? What if you could build a successful business by simply showing up, working hard, and serving people well? Our guest today is living proof. I've been blessed to coach Nick here over the past year, and I can tell you he's the same guy behind the scenes that you're about to hear today. Humble, hungry, coachable, and committed to getting better every single day. Nicholas Ross is a Jupiter native and the owner of Ballistic Marine Services, where he's built a reputation for honest work, exceptional service, and helping South Florida boat owners and yacht owners keep their vessels safe, reliable, and ready for the water. But here's what I love. Nick didn't go to college. He bet on himself, embraced the skilled trades, learned through experience, and built a growing business through grit, consistency, and solving problems. Now he's expanding into entrepreneurship, real estate investing, and proving that success isn't about the path you choose. It's about how hard you're willing to work once you're on it. If you're a young person trying to figure out your future, a parent wondering what options really exist, or someone thinking it's time to bet on yourself, then it's time to lean in. So Nick Ross, thank you so much for coming in the studio, brother.
Thank you for having me,
And
Fergie.
also,
Good morning.
you brought Mama San today. She's in from the Carolinas. This is so awesome to have her in the studio as well. But I have to ask you, let's settle one important debate right out of the gate here. What's the one thing every boat owner swears they'll never do, and then almost every single one of them ends up doing it anyway?
One of two things: either spending a lot more money than they ever thought they were going to spend, or selling it. And It's kind of the contention point that all of them hit about a year in, give or take.
Right.
The guys that are spending serious money on these boats,
Yeah.
they think to themselves, yeah, we'll handle it. I'll take care of it. My son, myself, we'll take care of it on the weekends. And then it gets away from them, and they say to themselves, okay, I'm going to either hire a professional to deal with this, or I'm going to sell it. And that's why you see so much turnover in the marine business. You see turnover between contractors.
That makes so much
see
sense.
turnover as far as owners.
Yeah.
Owners go from day one, I want this boat, to day 365, I can't stand this thing, it's got to go. It costs me too much money, it costs me too much time, it costs me too much stress, anger, anxiety, this, that, and the other. That's what we are chasing.
It's like kind of get a puppy when you're a kid. Like,
it is.
I'm going to take care of it, Mom, Dad. I'm going to take care of it. It's usually Mom and Dad that ends up taking care of it, right?
Correct.
So that's awesome because you're like, if you grew up right here in South Florida, in the Jupiter, surrounded by the water, at what point did you realize I don't just want to own boats someday? I think I can build a business around them.
To tell you the truth, after I left college, so I did the stereotypical route that you just said. When I was 17, 18 years old, every teacher in my junior, senior years of high school kept walking up to me saying, they'd say in front of the class, let's go around, round robin. Where are we going to college? Not what are you doing? Not are you going to college? It's where are you going to college? Because when you take decent classes, you're in honors classes, AP classes, whatever the case might be, there is no concept that you might not be going to college. It's just an expected thing. And if you say you're not, they all look at you like you came from another planet. And I don't know. That's the way it still is. I graduated 7 years ago.
Sure.
But it's sad, man. It really is sad because you see a lot of people that had a lot of potential for
Sure.
anything other than going and staring at a book for 12 hours a day that goes straight down the tubes and end up in a different part of life they wouldn't have ever wanted to be in.
Yeah.
Well,
Was it something you trusted your gut on?
I trusted my gut on it after I went to college. So I did go to college for
Okay.
about 3 months and I couldn't stand any second of it. And I left. And it definitely bothered some parts of my family.
Sure.
And like I said, I left and I said, all right, I got to find something to do. And those that did support me looked at me and said, you got to find something to do. You can't just screw around and do nothing.
Something you're passionate about, too.
You got to find something that you don't hate at a very minimum. I'm blessed that I love what I do for a living.
Yeah.
And I think very few people truly do get that
Yeah.
blessing and get to make a great living with
You
it.
get to do it. It's like we talked about that. We're a squad out there. I'm also working with Nick on his investment properties and stuff. We were talking about get to or have to.
Correct.
You get to get up and serve people every day, right?
I get to wake up in the morning and not detest my living, man. And I see that every day with a lot of these people. And a lot of them are my own clients. Genuinely hate what they do for a living. And it's
They got a
sad. And it's
monster
sad.
boat, $1 million,
It's sad.
$2 billion boat. They don't like it.
And it's
Love it.
if that's the life that you want, and that's okay.
Sure.
It's not my life.
Not there to judge. You're just.
But I wake
Yeah.
up in the morning and I get to do something that I really enjoy doing. I don't love it all the time. With any business, with any job, with anything, and you'll love it 100% of the time. But waking up in the morning and getting to do something that you don't hate
Love
is to me that means the world.
And so many people, young people especially, they're chasing followers, viral videos, and like shortcuts to it. You've built your reputation on showing up, doing quality work, and letting customers become your marketing department, right?
Yeah.
And I know that because I've seen your customers, they've heard them and say, dude, I refer Nick to everybody that I can, right? But why do you think old school work ethic like that still wins?
It still wins because it flip-flopped. That's my personal opinion. So we went from 30, 40 years ago being in an economy in which service was everything, the only business anybody could really build. And then over the course of the last 10 years, we just turned into a complete attention economy. Everybody wants to make a living by trying to film something and put it on the internet, or they want the easy way out. Essentially, they want the easiest way out of posting things on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or anything else, or trying to drop ship or anything of this nature where they don't have to truly provide service to people. And I think that left a vacuum for guys like myself and a lot of my friends and partners in these businesses that do the same thing.
And one thing I think I've said this to you before, this scares me about who's coming up, me being 54 and me being like almost double your age, right? That your generation is going to be the first generation that does not make more than their parents.
Yeah, you said that to
Right?
me.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you're going to make more than your parents or whatnot, but you're the first generation that is doing it. So what is your takeaway from these kids out there? You mentioned a little bit where they're trying to take shortcuts and go viral and stuff like that, but what is it about the generation? Because you're tuned into it. You live it every day. What do you think it is?
What do I think it is? I think it's honestly social media has ruined the true entrepreneurship of our young society. And it's not that it's taken it out of them. It's that it's tried to demonstrate to them that they can get it a lot easier than what is actually real.
That's one thing I love about you. You're always flexing your hustle muscle, man. You're always out there. Every day you're grinding, right? And
it's not free, man. And everybody wants to sit in Dubai and do nothing and make millions of dollars.
Sure.
If I could do that, I would do it too.
Absolutely.
But it's not real. I
I
don't
love
care
that
what
you
anybody
came to
says.
that
It's not
realization
real.
at your age, Nick. So one thing that I do, another thing I guess I admire about you is that you don't just fix boats or yachts, right? You create confidence for boat owners before they ever leave the dock. They're confident in the work you do. How is changing your mindset from I'm fixing something to I'm serving something change your business?
So the fixing something mindset is where we started. So that's every shop. You go to any shop in South Florida and you look up boat repair shops, and that's what you find. Is you find 500 shops down here. This is the boating state. It's a boating town.
Sure.
That all they do is say, if you got a problem, come in and we'll fix your problem. I flip-flopped that. I said, let's fix these problems before they start.
Okay.
Let's catch these problems before these people
Through
go.
a maintenance program.
Through our
right?
maintenance
Okay.
program. So let's fix these problems before you're out with your family and you look like a fool when your boat doesn't start.
Right.
Let's catch this before you're sitting at the dock with your wife and your kids and the coolers and everything else, and everybody's ready to go, and you turn the key and one of your motors doesn't start.
Right.
And then everybody's looking at you going, what are we doing? What are we doing? And you say, I don't know.
Because there's so much planning that going on in the water.
Mhm.
It's not like you just go out in a boat and go,
No.
there's, okay, we're going to be at this, watching weather, getting the food together,
Yep.
you know, life jackets, all that other stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. And I can't be there for them that day, but I can be there for them on Friday. I can be there for them on Friday afternoon, start their motors up and call them and say, hey, look, you're good to go. I flipped all your switches. I started all your engines. Your generator works. Your AC works. Your family's not going to sweat in the cabin if they choose to go down there to take a few minutes out of the sun. You're going to be okay. You're going to have a good Saturday. Instead of them going down there and then freaking out on Saturday morning, calling every shop that might answer the phone on a Saturday morning, but probably not, and going, hey, can you help me? Can you help me? Can I pay 5 times your typical labor rate to come and save me so that you can save my weekend? And that is what has built the maintenance program entirely.
So when you you build the maintenance, like I know you've told me this, but tell the listeners out there, especially you boat owners or aspiring boat owners, like the conversation that you have with them after you've did the work. And walking it through, do you have a checklist system for them to work off of, or like, how is it?
So we've got software that they have access to. They make their own login, and we set their boat profile up, and they can see every time we run through their checklist. So based on what they pay for and the plan that they want, they can see that their checklist was hit. And I'll shoot them a text and say, hey, look, check the app. You can see everything that you need to see. It's called Boatyard.
Okay.
You can see everything that you need to see that we flipped through. Let's say, I don't know, something didn't work. Let's say port center motor didn't start.
Sure.
There's a checklist. Does port center, starboard center, and starboard outer, do they all start? Yes, they all start. Okay. If you have an AC, does it run? If you have a generator, did it start? If you have this, that, and the other pump, this, that, and the other light, did they all run? Did they all work? Your boat's clean. Here's some pictures. We upload those too. You get 4 or 5 pictures from the front to the back and then the sides, showing that your boat's clean, that you're not going to show up on Saturday morning to a boat that's covered in dirt and dust and salt.
Right.
And it gives them a bit of a peace of mind.
Sure.
They show up to their boat, and like I said, instead of being the guy that gets the call at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, can you please fix this? Instead, it's a text saying, boat looks great, everything works great, thanks for checking on it. It's less stress for them because they know that they're going to get there and there's not going to be a problem.
If something goes sideways, there's a checklist that you have on that Boatyard app, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Go through and maybe find out what it is. Maybe it's a flip of a switch or something, right?
And I try to hit all the maintenance boats. We start doing things like maintenance services and bigger details and stuff like that towards the end of the week. But I try to hit all the maintenance boats in the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that if we find something, I get the chance to take care of it. Whether I'm subbing it out, I do a lot of subcontract work, things like heavy-duty engine work, diesel inboards, upholstery, gel coat repairs, things like that.
Sure.
I've showed up to boats, and then they have gashes in them, and I call the owners and say, what happened this weekend?
Yeah.
And they say, what are you talking about? And turns out it could have been anything. Could have been somebody dinged it, at the dock or something like that, and they had no idea, or whatever the case might be.
Love it. And Squad, when we come back, we're going to kind of talk to Nick a little bit about being coachable and also leaning into other people and what he's teaching other people. As soon as we throw it to our sponsor, Steve Austin from Rise Mortgage, that I'm blessed to have. Steve, take it away.
Thanks, Scott. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Steve Austin with the Rise Mortgage Dynamic Team with your mortgage tip of the week. Getting a mortgage can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be hard. While there are a lot of intricacies that go into the financing process, that doesn't mean it needs to be a bunch of extra stress that you carry during your home purchase process. There are very important contract dates and timelines that need to be met in order to keep your closing on track. Having the right lending team that knows exactly what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and to make sure it doesn't add extra stress to you is crucial to hit your closing date on time. To learn how our team is setting up for success to navigate the home buying process without the unnecessary stress, give us a call at 561-250-6044. That's 561-250-6044. That's it for this week. This is Steve Austin, your branch manager, NMLS 762328 with the Rise Mortgage Dynamic Team, NMLS 1604663, an equal housing lender.
Are you looking to finance your dream home, vacation getaway, or an investment property? The Rise Mortgage Dynamic Team and Company is here to help. Steve Austin and his team, their expert loan advisors, combine local knowledge with cutting-edge technology to make your financing process efficient and seamless. Whether it's your first home or your next investment, trust Steve Austin and the Rise Mortgage Dynamic Team and Company to guide you every step of the way. Visit them today and experience the perfect blend of technology and personal touch. Steve Austin's Rise Mortgage Dynamic Team, your local experts in residential financing. Call Steve today at 561-352-9278. That's 561-352-9278. 561-352-9278. 9278. NMLS number 1604663.
Hey, Steve, thank you so much for the market update, and it's just a blessing to work with you, do some business with you, and to have you as my sponsor. We're back with Nicholas Ross from Ballistic Marine Services. And Nick, I've been blessed to coach you for a little bit now, right? One thing I've watched is your willingness to listen, to adapt, to keep improving. Like, how important is having mentors and coaches? And I'm not just saying me, you have other mentors in your life and whatnot. How important is it to have those at someone your age?
I think it's hard for a lot of people to come to the realization that they can't do it all by themselves.
Or know everything.
Or know everything. You can't do it without a team. You can't do it without other people that truly know what they're doing. And people that want to sit in their office and do every bit of their office work. They want to do their tax work, whatever the case might be. Find people who are good at things and let them do it. Find people who are good at things that you're not and shut up and listen.
Right.
And just let them talk. If you find somebody that's good at something that you want to be good at, shut your mouth and listen to what they have to say. If they have something valuable to say to you, let them tell you. And I don't know why they seem to want to talk instead of listen. Close your mouth, open your ears, let people, if they choose to, if they're going to bless you in that way, let them give you that knowledge.
I love that. And you know what, with you, I'm blessed to have spoke with your mother, who's actually in studio. She's not going to get on mic. But she told me that from you were age 5, she would tell you something, you would go through and count on your fingers and repeat back to her what it is. So was that just instilled in you early age, just to be super curious?
I think it was instinctual, to tell you the truth. I think it just it just was the way I think some people are born a certain way and some people are not, whether it's their family that made them that way or whatever the case might be. I never really was the one that want to go up and start talking and spouting off to people. I'd rather listen and hear what you have to say.
Love it.
And kind of internalize that, move on with my day and use that later on.
That's why you're where you're at, and you're still a young entrepreneur, right? So yet you've already learned lessons that people twice your age haven't learned, right? So what's one belief though, since you've had at age maybe 20, that you've completely changed your mind about in those 4 years? Because you've just grown so much in those years.
Like I said, the lone wolf concept, because when I first started this, I said to myself, I can do everything. I said, I don't need anybody's help. I don't need any. When it comes down to the little stuff, say your taxes, say your office work, say anything else, even working on boats, I can do this, that, and the other. And if I don't know how to do it, I can learn it and then I'll do it all by myself. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. Find something that you're truly good at, or a few things that you're truly good at, do them, and either sub out the rest or use and hire somebody that's good at it, whatever the case might be.
Thank you. Yeah.
And bring somebody in to do the things that you either don't know how to do, don't want to learn how to do, or have a learning block towards doing.
Right.
And there's a lot of those. It doesn't really matter what industry you're in. There's going to be things that you're not good at. And is your time better spent doing the things you are good at or trying to learn things that you're not good at?
But where did this come from, the knowledge? Again, 24 years old, it doesn't happen.
Good mentors. Tell you the truth.
Okay. When you were growing up.
Good mentors that have looked at me and said, you're being stupid for X, Y, and Z reason.
Okay.
I'm very lucky to be in a business where my clients oftentimes end up becoming my mentors.
Love it.
My clients are oftentimes the people that I want to be, to tell you the truth.
I got you. Yeah.
And that was the reason why I chose this business. I realized that it was the easiest way, put it this way, you stand outside long enough, eventually it's going to rain and eventually you're going to go. When you put yourself in the middle of the flow of money, you're going to get wet eventually.
Sure. That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
When you're around people that have what you want to have, you could do, say, pressure washing and be around the typical average person all day long.
Sure.
90% of my clients are top 0.1% of income earners or net worth or anything of that nature. And that's the type of people that I get to be around. And very often they'll drop some knowledge for me and I'll go, oh, wow, that's right.
Dude, that's amazing. I'm looking in a mirror of me, 25, and I think our producer is also shaking his head right now. He's looking in the mirror and seeing ourselves. And this is what makes me confident about the future of this world. Like, there's people like you that's walking it. And you and I have talked a lot about playing the long game, right?
Yeah.
So how are you, again, staying patient when, again, we're going to throw it back to social media and whatnot, makes it look like everyone else is getting rich over that. How are you staying so patient in staying in the moment?
Because I know at the end of the day, most of the social media stuff is short term. Like I said, we live in an attention economy and attention only lasts so long.
Sure.
And look at all the people that were famous 5 years ago on,
doing nothing.
Facebook,
right.
TikTok, Instagram, and so on and so forth. All of these things. Look at all these people that blew up overnight. and try to think of somebody back from 5 years ago that blew up really fast overnight and go see where they are.
Go see where they are. Yes,
And when's the last time you've heard their name? And you don't.
you know,
and that's the problem.
Schools. I use that. I don't know if I told you that, but I use that at high schools that I speak at. I speak at their entrepreneurship groups that they have at high schools. And I'm like, I use that exact same thing. Like all these people that were balling out, and I say that air quote squad, that's all they're listening. It's like they're balling out, but go back and they're living a way different life, right?
It's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, and it's explosive growth runs out of oxygen really fast.
Yeah. And so you're a big advocate for kind of the skilled trades that's out there, right? And if you had, like myself right now, like 5-10 minutes in front of every high school that it's out there, because a lot of people will be like, hey, Ferg, coach, should I go to college? I tell them, absolutely. If I don't see the entrepreneurship in the way they talk or asking questions, I tell them, and the reason why I do that is because they can join a fraternity, they can make brothers or sisters that they can lean on later in life. Because again, I know friends of mine that are very successful that went to school and they have fraternities and like, oh, I need an attorney, I need a doctor. They have one in the stuff. But what about the people that are like you, that are about servicing people and whatnot? What would you say to them about the skilled trades, apprenticeship, and opportunities that a lot of people, that because it's not sexy, it's not pretty. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me start here. I didn't mean to make college sound like it's this bad demonic things. That's that I frown upon. If you're going to go be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, something of that nature, an architect, and you have a path to make money, and you have a path to succeed, then go to college, fine. Sure. My only point is, if you're going to leave high school and you're going to college because you don't know what you want to do, and you're like, oh, I'll just go to college and go drink every weekend and go party, and I'll get a bachelor's degree in business from a professor that doesn't own a business.
Sure.
And then I'll figure it out from there.
It's so true.
That is the worst possible thing you could. Before you go do that, go do a bunch of stuff that find out if you like it. The thing is, man, I didn't really start this until 22, 23. You know, I started it when I was 20, and I didn't take it extremely seriously, and I wasn't completely full-time with it. I still had great jobs making great money. You don't have to start a business in the blue-collar space to make money.
Right.
I started as a $15 an hour helper guy when I was 19 because I realized I hated school and I didn't want to be there. I went to engineering school. And then I went up and I worked my way up. And eventually, by the time I was 21, I was making really strong money. I was making six figures in the marine rigging space. And that's not unheard of. I have a dozen friends that are still working for other people that do exactly what I did, that are making the same money, that are making strong six figures.
Nice.
You don't have, is there absolutely more space to make money if you own your own company? Of course.
Sure. Along with it comes responsibility and
that exactly. And if you don't want to own your own business, that's okay. You could still make money in the blue collar space not doing that. You could still provide for your family. You could still do all these things and live comfortably and live a good life and enjoy your life.
Right.
And if college isn't what you want to, don't let anybody push you into it thinking that is your only option. Or if it's the I don't know option, if it's the I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to do this, that's like the worst option.
Right.
Because you're going to end up getting into debt. Maybe you got a college fund. If you do, then great. But if you got that college fund, cash it out and go start your company.
Right. And I love that success to you over significance. And I write up hunting properties yesterday. I dropped that success is living a life of options and not obligations, right? Which is I see you really leaning into. But I have to ask you a canned question, right? That I ask all my, and you're so young, right? But how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date. Hopefully it's a gajillion years down the line. But if you're to look back, sit in that rocking chair and look back, how do you want to be remembered?
To tell you the truth, to say that I absolutely 100% of the time did my best every day of the week. And I really do believe that if you wake up in the morning and you don't screw other people, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal, that you're gonna win. You're gonna lose battles, but you're gonna win the war.
Love it.
And I don't want to be remembered as the guy that hosed everybody possible on the way up to get there.
You served, and I think that you're gonna be a person like I know I'm tooting my horn, but it's like myself that's gonna see somebody. Because the way we met, you're like, you own properties, and I'm like, yeah, I own properties. But then you started asking what I call qualifying questions of me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely want to see if I can lean into this Nick kid. And then you're going to do the same. You're going to bring the people up. You're going to look back and go, okay, that's awesome. So, but let's get in. We got about 2 minutes left. The platform is yours. What would you like to put out there about Ballistic Marine, what you offer, and whatnot.
As far as what we offer, like I said, guys, we started as the boat repair, call me if something breaks.
Sure.
And we ended up as the call me before something breaks.
Right.
So part of what the maintenance program is we take care of everything that could possibly go on wrong with your boat. If I don't do it, I have somebody else who does.
Sure.
Upholstery, gel coat repair, inboard repair, diesel. I don't do any of that. I have people who do. They're better at it than me.
Yeah.
That's why they do it.
You maintain your
So,
love it. Yeah.
We take these boats. Let's say we've got a 42 yellowfin. We're there once a week to wash it. We're there every 3 months to wash and wax it. We're there once a year to service the motors. You've got a flat rate fee at the beginning of the month that you pay, and it takes care of your boat. Maybe it's $500 a month. Maybe it's $1,000 a month. I've got a sport fish boat that's $1,200 a month.
Sure.
That's what they pay for, and they look at the amount of money that they pay and say for the fact that I don't have to go to this boat other than to use it. And that's worth the money to them. And I don't blame them. I think there's a lot of spaces in life, whether it's houses or anything else, that you could apply that concept to the concept of people that have the money to pay to buy their time back. So that's what I tell all my clients. Let me give you back your time. Buy your time back from me.
That is awesome. Because, again, the people that buy a boat, they want to get in the boat and go. They want to pack their food for the day. They want to get out on the water and have fun. They don't have to worry. Is it going to start saying, oh my gosh, did I make sure that was checked and that was checked? And squad, I just had the best conversation with somebody that's already arrived, but is going to continue to ascend. Thank you so much, Nick, for coming on, brother.
Of course.
Really appreciate you. And thank you so much to my producer, Brian Mudd. Thank you much to WJNO. Squad, go out there, be safe. Remember our troops, please, that are doing the deed for our country. Love your guts.